Hello and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time, Yuuji tried to get a better understanding of what's going on inside the mind of Matsushima Michiru. And yeah, now we continue that. Sour is so sour. Several days after the cold incident in the dormitory, once again I encounter Michiru drinking something sour in the lobby. From the way she's writhing in agony, she doesn't seem to have gotten used to it in the least. Why are you so caught up on drinking sour things? You don't seem to enjoy them. Do you enjoy making yourself miserable? If this is just one facet of a deeper masochistic fetish, I'll have to demonstrate a certain level of acceptance and understanding. Shut up already! Getting lots of vitamin C makes you smarter. Don't you know that much? What? Who published a thesis like that? And where? I like to think I have a basic familiarity with the benefits of vitamins, at least. Vitamin C's effects are so famous that I'm actually surprised to hear anyone was still researching it. Thesis? Don't know about that, but you know, it's in sardine or tuna heads or whatever. You've heard about it, right? Vitamin C. Sardines? The head of tuna? Sardines, tuna, and a positive effect on the intellect. I think I get it. What? Finally remembered? But I won't give you any. I'll show you. I'm gonna get way smarter than you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What's with that confident expression? You'll regret this when I'm the one teaching you stuff. Unfortunately, judging from the way she's confusing vitamin C with DHA, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But to explain her mistake here and now would be too cruel. I'm sure she'll naturally discover the truth herself someday. Well, you may not be capable of teaching me much at the moment, but I'm counting on you to help me out if I get sick. What's with that? Don't worry about it. You just keep up the vitamin C intake and regular sleep patterns for everyone's sake. I plan to. Not that it's any of your business. Spitting out a venerable Sunderer's stock phrase as her parting shot, Michiru stalks off. I don't stick labels on people prematurely. But regarding the girl named Matsushima Michiru, in consideration of various events up and to, including the current case, I have arrived at a certain conclusion. So full of yourself, don't think I'm going to give you any of my vitamin C brain juice. This girl is, in fact, an idiot. Probably because I've been living in a world where maintaining decidedly realist perspective is a matter of necessity, I've never felt any interest in the paranormal or occult phenomena. Such stories are often frauds created to prey on the weaknesses of human nature, and more fundamentally, I've never found any meaning in the idea of the supernatural. But in my workplace, where human lives are frequently given and taken, these sorts of rumors aren't uncommon. Even a disinterested party like me has absorbed more stories than I can count on both hands. So what ended up happening to the person who approached the tunnel? When he got back, he went delirious with fever. His limbs grew numb and eventually totally immobile. When a doctor examined him, they couldn't find any cause for his condition. They threw in a towel and left him to rot in bed. Okay, this is made up, right? When Kasami-san tells the story, it seems frighteningly real. Haha, Yuuji's just probably making up some fake ending to scare us. I bet the guy's perfectly fine and they still keep in touch even now. No, that's really what happened. And he died a month later. Eek! That's a lie! He should be fine by the template. Say it's a lie, alright? I don't tell lies, even white lies. He's dead. Left me a little something in his will. No! I got no freaking idea if Qa'Rajh is happy or terrified. I believe Michiru-sama is scared out of her wits, such as they are. Compared to the reasonably calm Sachi and Makina, Michiru is in a state of serious terror. Y'all are hopeless. Amani's expression is also strangely cramped. From the way her Kansai accent is leaking out, I'd say she's not quite unaffected herself. Was his death, in fact, related to some sort of curse? Don't know. He wasn't that healthy to start out with, so there's a good chance he just picked up some illness that killed him. But the doctor couldn't find anything wrong with him, right? Yeah. Ah, jeez, I'm telling you, that's too freaky. Maybe he was, like, chronically ill, or you noticed him coughing for half a year before that. Isn't there some explanation for that? Please? Nope. Oh. Michiru clamps her hands over her ears and thrashes around, moaning like a wild animal. Though the cause of her evolution seems to have reached a new stage, this isn't the time to study that hypothesis. Were you that scared? Sorry. That's not it. I wasn't scared or anything, just surprised and scared. Calm yourself, Michiru-sama. You are spinning in circles like the hands of a clock. I mean, what's wrong with this guy? Usually you'd show consideration and lighten on the story just a teensy bit. He's ruthless. Totally ruthless. There, it'll be okay. Even if Qa'Rajh did piss herself from fear on the spot, everyone's here kind enough to pretend we didn't notice. I did not piss myself, and that's cruelty, not kindness. Don't ignore something like that. Understood. If and when Michiru pisses herself, I promise to pay close attention. Piss off! At any rate, my story's over, so let's stop for now. There are 5 candles in front of us. I blow out the flame on the last one that's still burning. That's that. Good work, everyone. Sachi turns on the lights and begins to clean up the candles. After dinner, for some reason, we all ended up telling scary stories in the lobby. It was a standard campfire-style ghost stories round, with everyone having a try at frightening the rest. Maybe the lukewarm summer night made it for a good atmosphere as everybody got into it. When you get down to it, that last story from Yuuji has to be the scariest. Yes, the way Kasami-san's story wasn't dressed up made it seem particularly believable. Well, it's not fiction. Cut it out! At least say it's just a story at the end. That's the absolute minimum of human decency. If I told you it was just a story now, would you believe me? Sure I would. If you say it, I'll believe you. Alright, got it? That story about the tunnel was all a lie. Also, my co-worker's alive and kicking. Huh? It's no good. I can't buy that. Get this out of my head. Brainwash me. Bring me a brainwashing machine right now. I think they'd give up after a few minutes with your brain. Ignoring Michiru's hysterics, everyone starts to head back to their rooms. At this point, I realize something's been a bit odd about tonight. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Sakaki. The others pause at my words, then turn back around with thoughtful expressions on their faces. Now that you mention it, I haven't run into her today either. Sachin, how about you? No, I did catch a glimpse of her in school, but I don't recall seeing her in the dorm. I saw her for just a sec, but she went right into her room. Don't know about after that. Maybe she didn't want to deal with us in group? Given Sakaki's personality, I can't imagine her voluntarily participating in this sort of social event. My guess would be that she just shut herself up in her room since she couldn't avoid running into a gathering if she went downstairs. No, she doesn't really hate this sort of event. Really? Well, I wouldn't say she goes out of her way to join in, but I think she feels like she could at least show up. Amane nods at Michiru's words. That's right, usually when everybody gathers here, she'll be standing over there, mostly just listening. She points to a pillar on the edge of the lobby and the hallway. Yes, so it feels comparatively unusual that she didn't show up today. I see. Yumi-chan's to buy the book kuudere, and she's just been shy. If Oni-chan brings out the beast inside and attacks, she'll go, but that's embarrassing. And fold like a house of cards. Yes, I think that would be an appropriate measure. Sakaki-san constantly exhibits a kuudere personality of near-robotic perfection, you see. I believe it's practically certain that this event is simply another expression of it. I just felt a lot of sympathy for Yumiko. Sympathy? Why? I get it. It's because Qa'Rajh is a really transparent character too, right? Oh, it's still Makina saying it. Usually there's a name tag over here. My bad. I get it. It's because Qa'Rajh is a really transparent character too, right? You identify with her or something. Tribal solidarity? Team spirit? Come on, don't look away. Spit it out. Shut up! I'm as sympathetic as a fellow victim of your constant screwing around, you jerk. Ah, please don't shout like that, Michiru-sama. If you raise your voice all of a sudden, you might break something in that fragile head of yours. I'm deeply concerned about your rash lifestyle. Sachi, you too? You're just as bad. As I watch Makina, whose abusive tongue and nasty personality are growing more pronounced, Sachi, whose cyborg-like reactions are growing more dramatic, and Michiru, who's growing more victimized by the day, I find myself growing a little curious about Sakaki's way of life. Come to think of it, since that box cutter incident was resolved a few days ago, I don't remember exchanging anything but very basic communications with her. I don't intend to pry too deeply, but for the sake of a smooth school life from this point on, it might be a good idea to learn a little more about her. Hey, there's something I want to ask you guys. Do you have a few minutes? I wonder why, since we didn't actually get to hear it. Just my imagination? That was close, you know. Indeed, Sakaki-san's instincts are remarkably sharp. When you're being followed by this many people, of course you're going to notice. Yesterday evening, I tried lightly asking the others about Sakaki's daily life and habits, but the answers I received in return provided a much flimsier information than I had expected. The one thing we know about Sakaki Yumiko is that she doesn't let people see much about herself, much less her private life. Our only real glimpses of her thoughts are hints from her gestures and body language. In short, Sakaki's lifestyle is a vaguely defined mystery, even to the people she's been living with. Without an active effort at observation, things are likely to stay that way. That's exactly why we're investigating Yuuji's habits, you know? Probably 80% out of idle curiosity, Makina and Sachi ended up volunteering to cooperate with my investigation. That cooperation has taken the form of an incredibly sloppy tailing operation that was nearly given away in a matter of seconds. To be honest, they are nothing but a burden, Makina in particular. I asked the wrong people. What's the matter? No, forget it. If things get bad, it's every man for himself. Putting aside any reflection on the basic question of why we're doing this for later, we continue our investigation of the highly mysterious Sakaki. Bleh, my sore feet, and I'm tired. Lying limply on her side on the sofa in the lobby, Makina mumbles a few grammatically scrambled words of complaint. In the end, we didn't find out anything. Sachi flops down next to me, heaving a tired sigh herself. Well, her guard was even tighter than anticipated. After spending an entire day following Sakaki's every movement outside of class, we gained absolutely no new information. During her free periods, she reads books and absorbs silence. Her pace in school was always steady and regular, without any suspicious, hasty movement. She doesn't feel human. She's a robot, or a walking rock. Just as Makina says, Sakaki's behavior was reminiscent of a machine. Yes, it felt as though I was watching a cyborg. You're the one to talk. Well, whatever, you're not wrong. But I don't think I can be satisfied with this. From what I've heard yesterday, Sakaki don't dislike being in the group with others. Even if she doesn't participate in the conversation, the way she's constantly lingering at the edge is easily comprehensible from the perspective of human psychology. That doesn't fit with her machine-like actions in the daytime. In the first place, does she ever let her emotions show on her face? Apart from the hostility Sakaki showed me at first, I haven't seen any evidence of an emotional reaction from her. Come to think of it, although it might not be exactly the same thing. Sachi raises her hands and speaks somewhat hesitantly. I have seen Sakaki-san startled. I love these chibi moments. Startled? Yes. Sakaki? It doesn't seem like she'd bat an eyelid even if the dome exploded under her. What kind of surprise got a reaction out of her? In response to my question, Sachi continues in a slightly hushed tones. I don't think Sakaki-san would be pleased to know I was telling you this, but it was an incident involving instant yakisoba. Instant yakisoba? Oh, well, don't have to look that up then. Yes, Ouyang's yakisoba with sauce, equipped with a hole for easy draining the hot water. It boils within 3 minutes. Not interested in the brand name or product features. What does it have to do with Sakaki? When making instant yakisoba, you need to drain the hot water, of course. When you dump the water into the sink, the metal reacts and makes a booming sound, yes? True, that'll make a sound if you dump it out all at once. Yes, and exactly that happened to Sakaki-san. She is adorable as chibi. I mean, they are all adorable. Splish, splish, splish. Yeah! The yakisoba. Oh well. Abandoned. Sakaki-san, are you just leaving this? Then I cleaned up for her and left. Oh, Sakaki did that? With that cool and calm appearance, you'd never think she'd be startled by something as small as that. In reality, she must have a pretty low tolerance for sudden scares. I kinda want to see that side of Sakaki. But I'm not particularly likely to run into her at the exact moment she's draining her instant noodles. And given Sakaki's personality, I doubt she'll make the same mistake twice anyway. Although I wouldn't mind seeing her cautiously filling the sink, preparing a strainer and intensely draining the hot water either. That sounds cool! I want to see too! Unfortunately, I doubt she'll do that twice. That's just a hot water thing though. We could use another method, you know? What? Makina lightly jumps off the couch, floating a diabolical grin. Yeah, there we go. We just need to ambush Yumi-chan and scare the heck out of her. What are you saying? That sounds fun, but wouldn't Sakaki-san's surprise quickly turn to anger? Just as Sachi says, when you consider the aftermath, trying a stunt like that on Sakaki seems like a very dangerous plan. I can handle it myself, don't worry. She won't find out, so it's all good. But Makina's malicious curiosity seems to outweigh her awareness of the risk. Sachin, she coming back soon? Yes, ETA to the front door is approximately 2 minutes. Intelligence arrives from our detached unit, namely Sachi. Now we just wait for the target to approach. Is this really going to work? My plan's flawless. You just sit back and enjoy the show, alright, Oni-chan? Just as Makina says, I'm hidden near the hallway, observing the scene. I wonder if there's really anything capable of surprising Yumiko. Wait, why is Qa'Rajh here anyway? None of your business, I was just curious. Sakaki climbs away up the stairs, approaching the second floor hallway. In that instant, Makina calls out instructions into her cell phone. Do it! At Makina's signal, Sachi cuts the breaker to the hallway from the other end of the phone call. Huh? What the? Sakaki is taken aback for a brief moment. A blackout? What a nuisance. But her voice quickly regains its usual steadiness. Once again, her footsteps ring out in the regular rhythm. Most likely the target, due to her scaredy cat nature, will be on edge from the blackout. Right as Sakaki approaches the door to her room, Makina presses the switch in her hand. What the? Sakaki twirls around at the odd noise, but finds nothing more than a flower pot sitting demurely on a nearby shelf. In the unremarkable earthenware pot, there's nothing but a small decorative plant. Phew. Sakaki sighs in relief after discovering the innocent origin of the strange sound, but she hasn't taken her eyes off the houseplant yet. On top of that, by letting her taste momentary relief, we got her guard down. As Makina whispers these words, she presses the switch a second time. Just then, the perfectly normal houseplant abruptly splits in two down the middle. From its depth, an object resembling a giant eyeball emerges. Although it might be different under bright lightning, seeing this thing pop out at you in the dark must be something of a shock. As expected, Sakaki freezes dead on the spot, her mouth and eyes open wide. Something that might be an attempt at speech and might be a simple gasp leaks out of her mouth. After a moment, she draws in a great breath of air. And, in a loud voice that I never have imagined emerging from Sakaki's mouth, she screams. The sound echoes throughout the dorm. What the? It's not just that she's loud. Unlike her normal low, vaguely threatening tone, Sakaki's voice right now is remarkably girly. Oh. Although I feel a little sorry for Sakaki as she trembles in terror, this is truly an interesting spectacle. Oh, Yuuji got nice and surprised. Let's see what her face look like. Is it lewd? You're evil, truly evil. Hey, Qa'Rajh, move over already. I can't see that well. Hey, don't push, Makina. Losing their balance, Makina and Michiru tumble from their hiding position, landing in front of Sakaki. What? At this point, Sakaki finally grasps the nature of the situation. Yumiko, what's up? Seems like a blackout. Wow, blackout out of nowhere. Weird. Just then, Sachi returns with exquisitely bad timing. Well done, everybody. Mission success. After adding some exquisitely unhelpful lines, she clamps her mouth shut. Yumiko looks around the faces of everybody on the scene, and then glances down at herself. What's the meaning of this? The tone of her voice has completely returned to normal. Well, this is, a bit of a long story. Yeah, Qa'Rajh made us do it. What? A setup? Qa'Rajh's had fun too, so you're an accessory to the crime. Now you gotta do the time. Then you do it too. Don't just blame it all on me. I see. Although I don't understand your motives, it seems this is your doing. I assume you're prepared to face the consequences of your actions. Please calm yourself, Sakaki-chan. Yumi-chan's mad! Hey, why are you chasing after me? Wait, no! As the perpetrators scatter around the dorm, Sakaki tracks down Michiru. There's murder in her eyes. She's waving her box cutter around like the incarnation of wrath. Where did the person who let out that cute scream go? Don't think she's going to calm down anytime soon. Turning my back on the violent turmoil taking place on the upper floors, I head downstairs by myself. Yo, you're up early. I thought I would head to school ahead of time, in order to avoid having to deal with any vile pranks. After that, Sakaki caught the criminals and beat the details out of them as they groveled in penance before her. As a related party myself, I was called before her to receive my own interrogation. In the end, she heaved a truly exasperated sigh and, without any particular retaliation, returned to her room with heavy footsteps. Good idea. Don't know about Sachi, but Makina and Michiru are probably still asleep. Sorry. Sakaki reaches her hand into the pocket, presumably containing a box cutter, glaring reproachfully at me. I raise my hand dramatically over my head in an attempt to demonstrate my lack of hostile intent. In response, Sakaki sighs deeply, passes by my side, and strides off quickly in the direction of the school building. So, mind if I ask you something? Do you seriously intend to humiliate me even further? As I follow a few steps behind her, Sakaki answers my question with her voice hard or with an attempt at intimidation. I'm not looking to tease you or look down on you. It really is just a question. Fine, then make it brief. Did you know everybody had a late night gathering in the lobby 2 days ago? I suppose so. She was aware of it after all. If you knew about it, why didn't you join in? From what the others told me, you don't particularly dislike that sort of event. If me being there made it awkward to join in, could you say why? I need to know before I can try to correct my behavior. I'm clearly an alien existence in this school, much less the dorm. I don't intend to trample on the native people's territorial rights or the dignity of their culture. Not that I plan to be particularly submissive either, but still. As much as possible, I'd like to aim for peaceful coexistence, meaning I need to understand the boundaries I shouldn't cross. For that reason, I want to know why Sakaki absented herself the other day, especially if it's connected with me in some way. It's not that there's anything you need to correct. Okay, in that case, why? In response to my questions, she hesitates for a moment. Rather than being uncomfortable about speaking her feelings to me, I get the sense that she's reluctant to admit the truth to herself. After a silence of about 20 seconds, Sakaki finally speaks. I hate scary stories. Truly unexpected words. What did you say just now? You don't have to look that surprised. Apparently my face is easy to read and Sakaki approaches me with a resentful expression. Like you said, I don't dislike gathering there, but just leave it alone. Everyone has things they don't enjoy. Judging from the way she got scared by the sound of a sink denting and the dramatic success of the prank yesterday, I did gather that she was your standard scaredy cat, but it just feels weird hearing her actually come out and admit it. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It just seems really out of character. Let me take my earlier words back. I found something for you to change about yourself. What? That insensitivity. How about being a little considerate once in a while? After Sakaki speaks those words, she makes a beeline towards the school building without stopping or looking back again. From a dignified bearing, there is not the slightest hint of the person who shrieked at the prank. Guess I should just leave this alone from now on. As the first step toward mending my apparent insensitivity, I decide to refrain from teasing her further. At any rate, through this incident, I've discovered that even this stone-faced cutter woman has a cute side. And the next part we will take in the next episode. So until then, take care.